I was a single mom looking for a man, not only for myself, but for my son. When I went on eHarmony, I had to fill out a lot of questions about myself, so they really got to know who I was and what I was looking for.
eHarmony, I think, is the only dating website that could bring somebody to me, the exact kind of person I was looking for. Other sites seemed really shallow. There's no perfect match beyond Angela. She's the best person for me.
Maybe it's your turn. Stop waiting. Start communicating for free today.
Racing isn't the only thing on my mind. And with GoDaddy, I'm making my ideas real. When I created my business, I needed a way to showcase it. With GoDaddy, you can get a website to sell online. And it will look good. I made my own way. Now it's time to make yours. Get started at GoDaddy.com.
Just like it should.
To coverage of the 2018 FIFA U-20 World Cup from France continues on this Thursday, and the American fans are ready for a second round of group play rolling on today. It's a must-win situation for the U.S. Lisa Byington alongside the former national team defender Danielle Slayton. We'll hear from Danielle in just a bit, but our focus is on Group C. Spain leading the pack after a 1-0 decision earlier today versus Japan, and well in control of this group so far. Remember, the top two teams advance out of group play to the quarterfinals, so the U.S. needs 3 points today. We will have the starting 11 and the kit coming up next between a couple of countries looking to stay in the hunt. Back in Concarneau, Lisa Byington and Danielle Slayton will bring in Danielle for the first time. 16 nations divided into 4 groups. And again, the top 2 finishers go to the knockout round. This is one of 4 venues in the second match going on here today. The U.S. dropped its first match to Japan 1-0, and Paraguay lost 4-1 to Spain. So not only are both of these countries hoping for a result match for each, but they're hoping that they can build some confidence as they got one more match to come in group play.
Yeah, gaining confidence and improving throughout the tournament is a key, and Paraguay certainly the minnow of this group, if you will. So the United States looking for a big result. Goal differential could play a role.
We saw the standings in Group C with Spain well in control over the other 3 countries, the other 3 nations in this group. And as you said, goal differential could be awfully important. Spain now with the 6 points, and the United States will take on Spain Monday, August 13th. And again, all of those matches you can find here on FS2. We watch as the countries and the teams and the starting 11 walk out onto the field. This is a situation, you weren't quite a part of the U-20, but you were part of the U-21 situation. You know what these players are going through.
Great building ground for the future national team.
And we have the anthems coming up for both of these respective countries. Always a great moment. Both anthems honoring both teams, Paraguay and the United States, moments away from the kick in Group C between these two teams. And again, both of these teams looking for a result here today. And as I was saying, you played on the U-21. The U-20 didn't exist way back in the Danielle Slayton playing days.
The first edition of this tournament was in 2002. I had already been 22 at that point, so didn't get to participate in this tournament, but as I mentioned, a great proving ground for the senior team as we take a look at the U.S. lineup. One change in the lineup for Jitka Klimkova. We see Tara Mikion, number 3, inserted into that left back position for Izzy Rodriguez. Playing in a 4-3-3 formation at Jitka Klimkova, she told us they are a team that likes to play out of the back and connect. We will look for the United States to do that today.
She's given them some freedom and some creativity, as she has said, but you know, this is a U.S. team that really has started to play together since January. She likes the connectivity of this group. You see the starting 11 in a mix of players, 21 players, 17 current college players, 5 youth club players, and that is kind of the interesting mix when you start talking about the U-20. You have players who are freshmen, sometimes maybe even sophomores in college, and some who have not even played college soccer yet.
Yeah, and I think those college years can provide some experience and confidence as players continue to progress through what can be a really tough time in terms of growth and progress and learning to be at the best at the top of your game.
Referees today out of China. And here is your Paraguay lineup, and there's one change as well for Paraguay here today.
One change for Epifania Benitez. Number 16, Jessica Sanchez, inserted into the lineup. She'll likely play the left attacking mid, left forward for Paraguay. Also in a 4-3-3 formation, but I anticipate them to play a little bit more defensively, those outside wingers dropping into the midfield space to really deal with the athleticism of the United States.
There's a look at Epifania Benitez. Interesting, she's the first woman to coach her team in her homeland. And Jitka Klimkova, 43 years old, in her first year at coaching the Women's World Cup as a head coach. She took over the program back in April of 2017. Some of the youth programs, Michelle French, BJ Snow, who were in charge of the U-20 and U-17, they mixed those around, changed some of their roles a little bit. And so it's now Klimkova who will be the head coach. You see the substitutes here for both of these countries. And the subs for the U.S. in particular, too, Abigail Kim, and you have Brianna Pinto, who gave some good minutes in that first match for Team USA.
Real attacking weapons, added pace, and quality decision-making play out of the midfield in Brianna Pinto. So lots of weapons on the bench for Klimkova to choose from, should she so desire.
Only 5 matches in the U-20 World Cup for Paraguay. They've only scored 3 goals in those 4 matches, 2 of the 3 coming in 2014. And interesting enough, both of these countries actually faced each other in the U-17 Women's World Cup in Jordan. And it was the Americans who came out victorious 6-1 in that battle. And already we have a foul just the first 15 seconds here of this match.
We see Jalen Howell against
Fabiola
Sandoval. Sandoval, a critical player for Paraguay, playing that real lone target striker for the Paraguayans. An important key on attack for them in qualifying. And she was a real bright spot for them in the first game against Spain.
There are several members who are part of the Paraguay's national team. Sandoval is one of them. And she will jog off here for the time being. I mentioned that U-17 matchup. Sandoval was very key in that matchup as well against the U.S. Well, of this Group C, Paraguay probably plays the most different style of play than the other 3 countries. Into the box, a clearance that didn't quite go the way they would want. USA in the navy, Paraguay in the red.
Well, you talked about their style, Lisa, and this is an example of their direct forward style of play. Watch every single time that Paraguay wins the ball defensively. Their first thought, their first pass is almost always forward. Jitka Klimkova, she told us that they are a direct team and transition is going to be a key for the United States today.
Sandoval battling there in the corner. You see she's returned here toward the field. Paraguay, as you had mentioned, plays a direct style, a physical style. And you look at Jalen Howell, who's down briefly.
And she's going to play a key role. You talked about the physicality of Paraguay. Well, that's definitely part of Howell's game. She is tough to tackle. She's good in the air. She likes to battle in that defensive center mid role. And when we spoke to her college coach, Mark Krikorian at Florida State, he said that she might be one of the best, if not the best American kid that they have ever recruited to FSU. She certainly has the pedigree entering into her college game. And by the way, she hasn't even stepped foot on the field at Florida State, a high schooler who is entering into college this fall.
You'll see a lot of that with some of the players here on the U.S. team. Sophia Smith is so key. She's at 17 years of age. She will play her college soccer in Stanford as well, playing up top for the Americans. But Florida State, he should know what he's talking about. They're a program that has invited some international players to their collegiate program. The counterattack. Villasante in trouble, making to go to work. And that is Kiara Pickett, who will play the right back for the Americans. Number 13, played 90 minutes, 4 of the 5 games for the U.S. in the U-20 championships. And there is the high pressure coming, being applied by number 10, Jessica Martinez, who's one of the stars on this Paraguay team.
And early on in this match, I'm looking for the United States to not only possess the ball, but possess the ball with rhythm. I don't think they moved the ball as quickly as they would have liked in their first game against Japan, and I think that's going to be a key to breaking down the compact defense of Paraguay.
Jitka Klimkova talking about her style of play, her preferred style of play. She wants to beat the opposition by possession. It has been a challenge as we get a look, our first look at Sophia Smith. Coming in with 21 goals, the leading scorer at the U-20 level. But Klimkova has also talked about not only just possession, but creativity, as we see Smith sending the ball in, a great opportunity, and the hard tackle to perhaps save the first goal. Paraguay recovering nicely.
And that's a little bit of the personality that we want to see out of the attacking players of the United States. We see Sophie Smith getting all the way to the end line. She gets her head up, has the presence of mind to put that all the way along the carpet. Gilroy can't quite finish it, but that's a good run and good movement in the box by the United States early in this game.
For the second straight match, it'll be Gilroy and Smith and Sanchez up top for the Americans. And here is Smith. Little room to move. Sanchez now with a chance trying to drop it off to her right side. There she had DeMello there.
And I like to see Ashley Sanchez cutting in. She does start out wide on that right, but her movement, especially across the field, is going to pull apart the defense of Paraguay. It's so incredibly difficult to defend when players are running sideways because you have to pass players off. You have to worry about staying in your zone and marking to man. So I think that movement is going to be important throughout the game tonight for the United States.
And between Sanchez and Smith, 35 caps for Sanchez and 27 caps for Smith. A lot of experience up top for the U.S. There's a look at Erin Gilroy, a Tennessee product. 6 caps, a couple of goals. She made a late run to earn a spot on the U-20 team. Ashley Sanchez and DeMello, Savannah DeMello, Emily Fox who is a reserve here tonight. Those are 3 players who actually played, and they're playing in their second U-20 Women's World Cup. Attacking the left flank. Nicely played by Gilroy. Combination look here for U.S. As Howell will play it back. And again, just the one change for the U.S. in the starting 11. They're on the back line as a foul is committed. A free kick coming up for Paraguay.
And a little bit nervy for me in these first 4 or 5 minutes or so for the United States, 7 minutes, I should say. I'd like to see them put the ball on the ground, possess a little bit better. Klimkova talks about it being a strength of her squad, this ability to play out of the back. I haven't seen the rhythm as of yet from this U.S. team. They certainly are capable, but just haven't settled into this game quite yet.
Jalen Howell with the yellow card in the 8th minute. DeMello also has a yellow in the first match against Japan. And it's Rosa Minnow and Freites who have the yellow for Paraguay. Those are something to keep an eye on. 2 yellows for 1 player, and you will miss the next match. No red cards yet have been handed out in U-20 competition this year. Paraguay got to this point, the runner-up in the South American Championships. Ended up losing to Brazil 8-1. United States advancing in rather dramatic fashion. Had to survive a couple of matches that went into penalty kicks.
Yeah, a huge opportunity and a huge win over Haiti in the semifinals, which was really the critical game in the CONCACAF qualifying tournament because the top 2 teams do advance to World Cup play. The United States did suffer a defeat to Mexico in the final of that tournament after having beat them in group play, though. First time for Mexico winning the CONCACAF tournament. Big opportunity for the Mexican team entering into World Cup play here in France.
As you had mentioned, the first U-20 in 2002, won by the U.S., by the way. Lindsay Tarpley with the golden goal against Canada. In front of 50,000 fans that year.
And it really is great to see how this game continues to grow on the women's side. 9th edition of this tournament. The United States having success at so many levels of the women's game, but at the under 20 level as well, winning in 2002, winning in 2008, and also 2012. But more than just winning these tournaments, it's about player development. And you see the players who have come through the under 20 squad, players that you know on the full team, players like Julie Ertz, Morgan Bryan, Sydney Leroux, Alex Morgan, Crystal Dunn, players who have found a way to make an impact at the senior international level, not just the under 20 level.
Well, yeah, so if you're a soccer fan, as we look at the touch from Gilroy, a long touch. She tries to slot it. And again, another solid look for the Americans. Sanchez will keep it alive. A throw-in coming up.
Great touch right there by Erin Gilroy to get all the way to the end line, and good quality numbers in the box by the United States.
Howell back to Sanchez. And again, you see that physicality as Jessica Martinez challenging.
I like seeing Kiki Pickett get involved in the attack here as we take a look back. Look, 1, 2, 3 runners in the box there. DeMello and Sophie Smith, though, they make the same run. Ideally, you'd like to see one at the near post, one at the far post, and one hanging back to provide a little bit of depth, but good commitment by the United States to get numbers in attack.
It'll be Pickett who takes this set piece. And she floats it to the middle of the box. The header is made, but up and over the crossbar. You see that aggressiveness by Isabel Ortiz, the keeper for Paraguay. Only 16 years old. She's the youngest on this roster.
She was the player of the match for me in their game against Spain. She really kept them in the game. Yes, they did give up 4 goals, but it could have been far more dramatic. As we take a look at this service, Isabel Martinez, she comes out but does not come out strong enough. If she comes, she has to be able to be the first one to win that ball. Jalen Howell does well to get on to the end of it. She will continue to be a target for the United States on set pieces.
So good in the air. She'll be another target here. As Maria Vecca continues to get tended to on the field. Played the entire match against Spain. And the starting 11 again here today. She will walk off. We saw Sandoval walk off and return. They continue to tend to Vecca. Jalen Howell had a couple of chances, maybe like 2 or 3 really solid chances in the air in that first match against Japan. She just couldn't put one away. Here's Ashley Sanchez swinging it out at the top of the 6. And a hard tackle by Germa, Naomi Germa.
I had the chance to speak with Naomi Germa's club coach, Tina Estrada. She says that one of the areas where Germa's continuing to work on is her service, her long ball, direct ball service into the box and making smart choices. Physicality, getting stuck in, is not one of those things. She actually trains in the development academy with boys teams 3 times a week. Can see her toughness coming up there. I think the United States needs to continue to use their athleticism, their physicality. They're bigger and stronger than Paraguay, and they need to be able to capitalize upon that today. Set pieces and going into tackles tough is one of those areas.
The first few minutes, we saw Paraguay threatening, and there, Naomi Germa. She will play at Stanford. The national team has used her in the center back position. Her club team really kind of the center mid spot. And there's the set piece. We have seen number 10, Jessica Martinez, double teamed, triple teamed. And here is Smith trying to make something. Smith stays with it, this time into the box. Cuts it back. Sophia Smith, the leading scorer, puts Team USA up 1-0.
Sophia Smith, she is a game changer. She can combine, but she can also do it all on her own. She has the presence of mind to keep moving, find the space, and just look at the angle at which she's able to find the back of the net. Perfect technique, lands on her shooting foot, and just squeezes it into the near post. Past Ortiz. Great start for the United States.
High fives all around on the American side. Sophia Smith now 22 goals. You talk about some of the top goal scorers in U-20 history. You're talking about Cindy LaRue with 29, Kelly O'Hara with 24, Lindsey Horan with 24. She's sitting at 22 right now.
Sophia Smith continuing to make a name for herself at that attacking forward position.
In the 15th minute, Sophia Smith had a couple of opportunities in the box, and as you had said, she created that all on her own. Down the left flank, Nikion getting the start here today. Had a great freshman year before an ankle injury for USC, kind of slowed her freshman year.
That's the rhythm that you'd like to see. A little bit off there by Jalen Howell, but the United States seems to be building confidence and not only possessing, but possessing with Japan. They played it around the back well, but Japan wasn't really challenged in that capacity. This has been better.
And here's the dangerous foot, number 10, Jessica Martinez. 7 goals in the South American Championship. She's competed twice at the U-17 World Cup level and another member of the Paraguayan national team. Started to play in World Cup play at the age of 14 years old. This Paraguayan defense is going to be tested against a very hungry American offense, looking to not only get results, but goal differential, as you had mentioned, could play a factor in trying to be one of the top 2 teams in Group C later. Oh, nearly a costly mistake by Isabel Ortiz. Had about half a dozen saves against Spain, as you said, really kind of the MVP for Paraguay in that match. Says something when they have handed over the reins.
Well, McKeown finds herself in the perfect spot, but her head is up. She's leaning back. She just needs to drive through that one. Keep her body down and get it on target.
A consistent call-up this cycle. She's appeared in every camp this year. Pac-12 all-freshman teams, played in 20 matches for USC. And getting the start here today. Here comes that pressure. And this is an example, as you had said, about some of this possession.
The U.S. would like to, at the same time, doing it with rhythm. If I'm Jitka Klimkova, I'm very pleased with the tempo of my team these last few minutes.
Klimkova, 20 years of experience with the U.S., New Zealand, Australia, the Czech Republic in terms of coaching. He's been with U.S. Soccer since January of 2015, and a lot of respect for the way the Americans compete at this sport. A nice move by Sanchez, who sends it in. And again, a lot of these players from both of these nations know each other. That U-17 matchup.
Ashley Sanchez having a lot of joy on this right flank. She's somebody who is very, very good 1v1. The speed at which she runs without the ball is nearly the same as the speed as which she runs with the ball. So when she has that ball at her feet, she is confident taking on players and defenders 1 versus 1.
They lay it off for Martinez. Germa is there and wins the corner. It'll be the first for Paraguay. Jessica Martinez played the entire match against Spain. Bogarin will take it. Playing it out wide and back into the box. Martinez was there, couldn't quite catch up to it.
Great communication by Laurel Ivory, goalkeeper for the United States. She cleared out her back line, got the entire U.S. team to get outside of the... And I like to continue to watch Savannah DeMello running late out of midfield. I think one of the things she did particularly well against Japan, and we've seen moments here today, is her ability to make those late runs from the attacking center mid spot, looking to trail the forwards who are providing depth to the defenders.
The through ball attempt, as Ivory even came off her line for that. And again, another hard tackle. Godoy this time down. About the 4th Paraguayan that we've seen in this half go down.
Tough tackle right there by Naomi. Germa also had a tough tackle early on. I think after those 2 tackles, that yellow card certainly is warranted. She's going to have to play a little more conservatively going forward here.
In the first 24 minutes, 2 yellows handed out. How? Set piece opportunity for Paraguay. turn, and off to the races is Smith. And DeMello trying to stay on her feet. DeMello, the most capped.
And that's a good connection to continue to watch. DeMello and Smith, how do they combine up the center of the park?
The U.S. attacking that Paraguayan back line.
Assessing the play and making the most of it.
Well, Freites, again, is the Paraguayan player who is down, who they're tending to. She was involved in really hard tackle in the second half in the first match against Spain. She assisted on the Martinez goal in that match, the only goal that Paraguay had scored.
In addition, looking back to that match we talked about in 2016, look at all of this space on the right side of the field. To me, there's an opportunity for a little slip in to Sophie Smith, I believe that is, or Viviana Villacorta on the wall there. Look for a quality service into the box on this set piece rather than a direct shot on goal.
There's a look at the captain, Sam Hyatt, number 16 for the U.S. And they go exactly in that direction. Here is Sanchez, poked away, another corner coming up. Arm's way. Ortiz will reset. We saw a couple of those replays of the Smith goal and Ortiz getting beat on that near side. Was there something different that she could have done angle-wise, your perspective?
I think the responsibility on the goalkeeper is to cover that near post, but when you have a sophisticated forward like...
As we're into the 30th minute of this first half, Group C action. And earlier today, Spain defeating Japan. So Spain atop the standings in this group. The top two advancing into the quarterfinals.
And we face a very real possibility should the United States get the result today and face off and play well against Spain on Monday, that by knowing that they gave up 4 goals to Spain, becoming even more critical of a factor.
Again, an aggressive approach by Ortiz. And we have our first substitution for Paraguay. Camelia Gonzalez in the place of Fanny Godoy.
And a little bit of a surprise to make a change at the 30-minute mark, especially to Godoy, your team captain. But she did, keep in mind, go down in that tough tackle where Naomi Girma earned the yellow card, so perhaps managing something there.
Well, you see hard tackles, and Sophia Smith is going to see this kind of attention all day long.
Very similar location to the previous set piece we saw where the United States played short out to the right.
In a very similar setup for the U.S.
Very high line, though. You see Paraguay pushing up outside of the 18-yard box.
It'll be Sanchez that time going the other direction, and a whistle.
Offside we see on the service there. But a great decision by the United States. I love the variety we're seeing out of the set pieces. Looks like Jalen Howell was the one called offside there. But a good bit of variety and creativity, something that the United States will continue to look to build upon throughout this game.
And again, Howell continues to be the target in the air for the U.S. Howell, of course, Part of the junior national program for some time, U14, 15, and U17s. And the pressure again coming from Sandoval. Controlled by Sanchez. Down the right flank, finding DeMello. And Sanchez battling on that right side.
Great little slip pass in by Ashley Sanchez to the feet of DeMello. Just can't quite get the separation she needs from the defender. Looking to play it across that defender's standing foot, really open up that goal, get on target, creating a shot opportunity for herself. Execution wasn't quite there, but I like the idea.
That was Freites with the tackle. We talked about her being a target on the set piece is so valuable defensively as well. And that is Girma controlling things. Naomi Girma, the center back position today. She is young enough she could be eligible for the 2020 FIFA U-20 World Cup. Villasante with the throw-in for Paraguay. She will take most of the throw-ins for the Paraguayans. Played the entire match against Spain as she looked to slip a pass through. Minnow into the box.
Great tracking right there by Tara McKeown. Good slip pass, good combination play, and a little string of passes by the Paraguayans here to maintain possession in their attacking third.
Well, they have maintained it in the attacking third for the last few minutes of play. Alonso trying to do the half chance. Here's Sanchez up against Pickett and Martinez. Sandoval with the left-footed chance.
It's been a great example of the direct play of Paraguay, always looking to go forward, always looking to penetrate. But the United States had good pressure on the ball, good cover on the ball, and Paraguay couldn't get through.
Sandoval had a long-range shot go off the crossbar against Spain. One of the stars for Paraguay, 5 goals in the South American Championships.
And Paraguay was a bit unlucky in their first game against Spain. As you mentioned, Sandoval had one off the crossbar. There were 3 that hit either the crossbar or post for Paraguay. So had moments where they certainly could break down the Spanish defense, but weren't able to find the back of the net often enough.
And what a match, too, for Spain's Patricia Guijarro. A hat trick in that match. Here is Smith. Doesn't quite have the numbers, so we'll wait for some support. Smith looking to take on a beautiful pass. Gilroy was there. And Sandoval will just give up. There's a look at Laurel Ivory. Started all 23 games her freshman year at Virginia. A counter opportunity, Sanchez to Martinez. And nicely played by Miquillon.
And the United States has done well to disrupt the counter, the break that Paraguay is looking to make.
Here's Smith again. What can she do with it? Smith laying it off. Open goal. They wanted an offside call. Didn't get it. Again, Gilroy with another opportunity.
And Erin Gilroy, what a great complimentary player to Sophia Smith. Look at her movement. She is onside when the ball leaves Sophia Smith's foot. So I think the referee gets it right there. But I just love how she pulls away and waits till the last moment to cut in. Just a little bit of a miscommunication between Gilroy and Savannah DeMello. I think Gilroy was more positioned or better positioned to finish that one than DeMello. They need to communicate a little bit better there.
DeMello went down hard, no whistle. DeMello still slow to get up. There is Howell. Back to DeMello, who's back on her feet, trying to find Smith. And they are working Isabel Ortiz in the net in this first half. Counter chance now for the Americans. You see that speed from Smith. She's crafty, already has one goal to her name, going for another off of the rebound. 2-0, DeMello gets it.
Well, the U.S. fans love it, and Sophia Smith continuing to find a way to get in behind the back line. Now, I think in this moment, I was looking for her to play across to Ashley Sanchez on the far post. I didn't love this decision at first, but because DeMello is there to clean up the rebound, making that late run that we've been talking about out of the center of the midfield, the United States finds a way to double their lead. And let me tell you, this is a big goal for the United States. The more that they can gain confidence, the more that they can score, the more that they can separate themselves from Paraguay, I think it's going to give them an opportunity to move and advance should they play well against Spain in the final match on Monday.
Yeah, those shots that you saw from the sideline to the keeper in Ivory, we talked about this. They need to get a result. They need to build their confidence.
And that's something that you don't have to deal with when you're playing at the college game or at the development academy level. You don't have to understand the dynamics of goal differential, group play like you do at the international level. There's a learning curve to players who are at the under-20 level, understanding what the international game entails.
The 6th goal for Savannah DeMello, and the most capped player that the Americans have. Trying to anchor the center of the field. So a goal in the 15th minute by Smith, and the Americans aren't done yet. Here's Smith again. And Smith still slow to get up. Smith is still down. The aggressive play by Isabel Ortiz. And a late collision. One more look at it.
And Sophia Smith just hovering on the offside line, continuing to find ways to get in behind the Paraguayan defense. And a tough collision there with Isabel Ortiz. She's certainly been a factor in this first half for the United States, making a difference and an impact on both goals.
Sophia Smith scored in the 15th minute, 22 goals at the U-20 level. Joining, as we had mentioned, some of the top names in U.S. soccer. And she has been a playmaker in the first half.
A playmaker, a finisher. She creates things on her own. She finds the separation she needs. She not only uses her speed and athleticism, but also her technical ability to beat player after player, defender after defender, and not only set herself up, but create chances for her teammates too.
Here's Howell. Floats one, DeMello. And again, the Americans trying to control more of the midfield in this match. It was something they fell short of against Japan. The one touch for Sanchez. 1v2, Sanchez going far post.
Good little look by Ashley Sanchez there. Taking players on 1v1 is one of her strengths, out on the flank. And that final touch gives her the separation she needs, but the angle is too severe right there. Nice steady head, keeps her head down, eyes on the ball, just can't get it on target.
Was the youngest player on the U.S. roster in 2016 when she played in the U-20 World Cup. Smith again into the box, goes down, no call.
In just a couple minutes from halftime, if I'm Jitka Klimkova, thinking about the second half, I'm going to communicate to my team that they need to continue to keep their foot on the gas. Goals and attacking is important in the second 45. I also would like to see the U.S. find their rhythm a bit more. They've had moments of possession and moments when the ball's been bouncing around a little bit too much for my liking. And if they can put the ball on the ground, look to possess it, but possess it in the midfield third, in the attacking third, then I think they're going to find a way to break down the Paraguayan defense as they begin to get fatigued.
Well, they can't afford, you're right, to sit on this lead. It's got to be pedal to the metal in the second half as well. A nice move by Gilroy. 3-0. The Americans are going at it today.
Savannah DeMello again finding a way to put herself just in the gaps. Watch her movement here. Perfectly timed run. This is what you like to see out of Erin Gilroy, getting all the way to the end line, forcing the defenders to engage. And then DeMello just holds her run just enough to get the separation she needs towards the back post. That's what you want to see out of an attacking center midfield. One who can not only connect and play make, but one who can get into the box and finish themselves.
Her college coach at USC, Kadani McAlpine, said that one of her goals was to come back stronger in this World Cup than in 2016. I mentioned that she played sparingly because of an injury. She also had a red shirt in 2016 at USC. She wanted to come back stronger for Team USA and for USC, and she has a couple of goals here today. 4 minutes of extra time in this first half. Sanchez again to DeMello, right in front of the net. And the Americans are not letting up.
Well, Viviana Villacorta wanting to get on the end of this. When we spoke to her college coach, Amanda Cromwell, at UCLA, she said Villacorta is a connector, but one area she can look to improve is getting in the box, attacking, and finishing more frequently and with consistency. Great opportunity there by Villacorta. I like her aggressiveness.
Has played the attacking mid and a holding mid position in her career. Another corner chance.
Another benefit to the scoreline for the United States is the fact that Jitka Klimkova can now start to think perhaps a little bit earlier about bringing subs into the game. And you never want to look forward too far. You never want to start thinking about game 3 ahead of game 2, but legs could play a factor against Spain.
Mistake. Smith trying to take advantage. Will fire with the left foot. And other than pockets of time with the Paraguayans in their attacking third. This first half has been dominated by the U.S.
A good statement performance and response after a tough loss to Japan in the opening match of this game. Japan, I would say, was probably slightly the better team, but the United States certainly had some chances, and the one-goal differential really was a brilliant opportunity and finish by the Japanese. Shot from long distance just over the head of Laurel Ivory.
Hanoka Hayushi in the 76th minute. And both teams had some pretty good chances up until that point. Martinez, you look at how frustrated she is, one of the top goal scorers for Paraguay, has turned and saw a couple of American jerseys, sometimes 3 American jerseys swarming her way whenever she touches the ball. Again, this is one of 4 sites. And the second match going on today, Spain beat Japan earlier on this very field. 1-0. That's the direct ball approach Paraguay prefers. There's a half chance. Jessica Sanchez starting in the place of Lee Chamorro today. To the left flank. Gilroy chasing it down. Taking on Alonso. Maybe one more opportunity for the Americans. And that'll be the half. But a really solid first 45 for the U.S. You're watching Group C action, and the Americans up against it in this match. They need a result to have any sort of chance to advance to the quarterfinals. We will have highlights of this first half, as well as take a look around some of the other